Hi, everyone. It's Ramona. Before we start the episode, I wanted to let you know that Margie and I both experienced some technical difficulties on our respective ends while recording. So if things might sound a little jumbly or there might be dead air here and there, that's why. Thanks for listening. It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and 2023 Christmas tree sponsor.
Hi, everyone. I am Ramona Ramirez. Hello, Margie.
Ramona gifted me a Christmas tree, and I've never been happier in my whole life. So
I am so thrilled that it makes you that happy. That's exactly what Christmas trees should do. That's exactly why I, being, half, technically whole Jewish, I get one every year, and I would have as many as I could stuff in my house if I could.
It's such a little twinkly delight, and it's raining here today, and it's dark as hell, like it's dark clouds. So to turn on the Christmas tree this morning, I was like, oh my God. I felt like I live in a chalet. I just love it.
Totally.
It's so pretty.
I have the tree on a timer so that, well, when it goes off, that's a hint like, Ramona, get your ass to bed. Sometimes I listen, sometimes I do not. And then in the morning, hopefully when we all shuffle out of our slumber, the tree is already on. And that way I don't have to bend down every goddamn night and turn it off.
I have one of those
things. That would probably
things
keep me in procrastination for about an hour.
For sure. I have one of those things where you like step on it, Like I can't fucking bend over to turn on a Christmas tree. Forget it. But it's an extension cord with like a little button and you just put that on the ground and you can step on it. Anyways, lazy man's Christmas. Yeah, it's great.
That's great. And that's probably the only bright thing we'll be talking about.
Holy
this episode was
shit.
It was wrought and fraught.
Let's just get started because it's just, there's so much. It just feels like this stuff at the beginning feels so stupid now, but Crystal's with her daughter on a balance beam. And Crystal, everyone's trying to be funny in this episode.
Yeah. No, I had the same feeling. Like I took all these notes when I was watching last night, and I thought at the end, I'm like, why even bother talking about this shit? Like the first thing I had to talk myself off the ledge of this first scene with Crystal is that she's like, I want a silver or a gold. And I was like, oh my God, calm down. She's just trying to do the balance beam in the back fucking yard. Like, do you have to get like this? But then I thought, I'm sure you made this joke to yourself as a child, or, you would maybe make it to your own kid. Like, do you need to get outraged by fucking everything? I don't know.
But this is where I got mad throughout this whole episode, is everyone is really trying for comedy, and I just stop it. You're housewives. You're not entertainers. Just like live your lives and let us watch. I think she was trying to make a joke, but it's not funny at all. So it seemed really mean. And when your audience is like your 8-year-old daughter, it's hard to find, I don't know. It was just the beginning of a whole series of terrible attempts at comedy, like very, very confident but very lame jokes. I thought this was going to be the worst of it. Then we have Garcelle with her boys, another unclear bit where she's like, I don't want Jade making babies like he wants to. And I was like, what? Does he really want to have kids? Or are you just saying he's fucking? And that's also weird. And no thanks.
Yeah.
Those boys are like full-time castmates. They're like number 1 and 2 on the call sheet now. They're in every episode a lot.
I mean, listen, I will take 48 minutes of Jade and Jax if it means I don't have to see Dorit on my screen ever fucking again. Honestly. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But first, we see Erica again.
Oh, boy.
She looks great, but I don't. Another unclear bit where someone in her team was like, Vegas hasn't seen a show like this in a while. And I was like, Vegas is only shows like this. Vegas is like the city of tits. Vegas is Sin City. What do you fucking mean? And why did everyone laugh? I was so mad. Don't do comedy. Just look sexy. You look great. Don't try to make a fucking... Ugh, I can't.
I think she was the one that said Vegas hasn't seen nothing, ain't seen nothing like this in a long time. I said the same. I wrote this same thing. Like, listen, it'd be one thing if you went into some rural town of maybe 3,000 or less. Fine. Town X hasn't seen anything like this in a while or ever. But Vegas just seemed like
And
to
also,
add.
you were just there getting
Yeah.
your like
Ew. Yeah.
box eaten out. But like, what are you talking? They haven't. We literally
I
just saw
know.
it with
We
you. Like,
literally just
stop.
saw it.
So already, like, I'm off the rails, pissed off, and it just gets more intense from here.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't like seeing lacks of humility and lack of self-perception, which I don't know if that's the same thing as humility. I don't think so, but it's unrelatable to me and it makes me feel a little bit repelled because when
Repulsed. Agreed.
repulsed, yes,
It's all.
repulsed, repelled, yeah.
I
Anyway,
can't root for
yeah,
her. I know
I
she's
can't
trying to.
either.
She's trying to play this like a comeback, but all I can think about still are the victims and widows, and like, come on, man, like.
Victims and
You're
widows,
not.
dude. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then we go into
agreed.
this tragic date scene with Sutton and Sal already has a girlfriend, which is his mom, apparently, because
Oh my
they
God,
went,
Margie.
it was so sad, but they went to a titty bar in Vegas. You know what I mean? So Erica trying to say like, ooh, they've never seen any, like Sal and his mom have seen titties in Vegas. Like, okay. Yeah. This was
Yes,
just tragic.
agreed.
And this mom seems like, I have questions about this mom taking her son to a naked show. And then it sounds like she beat to death a catfish that he liked and cared about. And in front of him, she pulled it out of like none of this was like cute and funny. Sal was delivering it like, isn't this adorable? And I was like,
Yeah,
maybe Sal should go to therapy and tell these stories because
he
I
really
used to do the
should.
same thing. I used to be like, isn't it hilarious when your dad throws everything down the stairs? And everyone was like, what? And I'm like, oh, does that not go? My sister and I thought it was hilarious. And then we both
Yeah.
went to therapy and we were like, oh, that's not hilarious. That's
That's
terrible.
not hilarious. Right. Yeah.
No.
I was not expecting that. I was rooting for him. He did that thing where he looked one way in his profile that Alessandra showed Sutton. Cause I was like, where is that man? I'm like, okay, I can kind of see it. But then he opened his mouth and I was like, oh no. And I was like, Ramona, just have an open mind, have an open mind. But I don't think it was salvageable.
No.
Salvageable. Dumb,
Oh,
dumb. Frank it.
salvageable.
No, stupid, stupid.
I mean, this was one
Oh
moment,
no,
and I like Sal.
I'm doing what you just complained about. Like everything's a bit.
No, but at least that's funny. That made sense. It was born
Thank
of
you.
something organic. Like it.
You're
Thank
generous.
you
Thank you.
for doing actual comedy. But I felt so bad. Like Sal is so earnest, and I do think he'll meet someone wonderful, and that will be great for them. But Sutton
Yeah.
ain't it. And this was the
No.
one time when I was on Sutton's side when the waiter showed up and was like, "Can I get you anything?" And she goes, "I'm drinking." And I was like, "Yeah, I can understand why you'd need to go straight for hard alcohol if you're across the table from Sal." Oh
Oh my
God.
God.
And then we got a little chair scooting comedy, which is actual comedy to me, when they scoot their chairs and it sounds like farts. And
Oh
that
yes.
wasn't their take on it. He was just like, he hated the sound, or I don't know what happened. There was endless miscommunication and just like the most awkward. It's just why it's why nobody wants to date. He's perfectly nice. He's harmless. But oh my God, 2 hours of that?
Oof. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's true. Like when Sutton was having the hard time scooting back the chair, yes, it made the noise. What resonated for me is that every single internet date, or I don't know if I ever went on a blind date, maybe, I don't remember, but my when I was in LA and I was online dating, first of all, and this is sad, but I'm just claiming where I used to be. You know, if I had pushed my chair out and I couldn't get out, I would probably go, "Oh God, I probably look like such a fucking clod, uncoordinated fat idiot." You know, like every time I went on a date, it was like, "Oh my God, am I going to be thin enough for this person?" Just so full of self-judgment and self-hatred about my body usually. And obviously I look back in hindsight and I'm like, oh, goddamn, like I should have been in a very different place mentally back then, but I just hadn't gotten there yet, even though I tried. And I guess you could say that, yes, if the fact that I showed up on a date feeling insecure instead of just not doing it spoke to something. I don't know, but that was what came up for me was like
I
something so
mean,
small.
I know.
It's just
It's
I
hard to
look
know.
back on
It's hard to know if like things like that are a factor of like being in your 20s or because I don't know.
exactly.
Part of me is like too tired to care about this stuff anymore,
Yes.
or I
Yes.
can only react to it how I actually would, which is exposing the fact that I think fart noises are funny, and when a chair scoots and two people's chair scoots, that's hilarious. I giggled. So, but yeah, I totally, of course. I mean, I just feel like my 20s were just one long stream of self-consciousness. I was just constantly
Oh
aware of
God,
how
yes.
I looked, what I said, how I sounded, how it was different or the same as other people. Like I just was constantly in that
Constantly.
headspace. Tiring.
Constantly. Constantly exhausting. Exhausting.
Oh God. And now we go to Kyle's house and Anne Marie and Dorit come over. The other thing in this episode, there was so much food stuff, Ramona.
Yeah.
There was just everybody talking about food, justifying how they eat or don't eat. Like it was just a lot. And we started here with Kyle having party platters of food and, inviting Dorit over. Like nobody's going to eat any of that. It made me upset. I was like, that's
I
food
know.
waste. Like I hope you throw a party and serve that to someone because it looked good
I
and
know.
no one's going to eat it.
The crew gets to eat it, or I mean, God knows after I entertain, although it's been so long, I loved eating appetizers the next day instead of regular food. I'm like, yay, stuffed mushrooms are left over. Yay, lemon bars are left over. But no, it was just rogue fucking charcuterie plates with just little piles of almonds or grapes. And I know that charcuterie plates have become a thing. Boards, charcuterie boards. Boards,
I feel like they
apologies.
were a thing like
Board.
8 years ago and we're still hanging on. And like, I still love a charcuterie board or a cheese board or whatever, but it has its place. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I know. I know.
The only thing in this scene that ate was the dog because it bit Anne Marie's hand and I loved it. I was like, that dog is onto something because I don't like that woman either. And yeah.
Pomeranians are always going to give you 50-50. They're going to
Is
be
that
like,
right?
I think so. Pomeranians are real. Pomeranians, I love them because they have attitude and they're just fluff balls, but at the same time, you don't know if it's going to like you. They're not like dogs like Evelyn that, come up and love you. They're just, I don't know. Pomeranians are their own deal.
I mean, Evelyn's too dumb to be scared, which is partly why I love her.
Oh,
She's so
she's so
simple. She
sweet.
just loves. She doesn't give a rip. But this dog,
Mm,
but I also feel bad for Kyle was like, it's always the small dogs. And I always feel bad for small dogs getting a bad rap. It's like, if it is always the small dogs, then like consider their size. If you went through the world like 2 feet off, not like 5 inches off the ground, wouldn't you be
right.
terrified of
Yeah.
some strange lady bending down and shoving her hand in your face? Like,
Yeah, that's a
come
really good point.
on.
That's a
It's
really good point.
tiny. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's just a fluff ball. It's only chance at retaliation if it feels it's in trouble is to bite. It's not going to win a wrestling match.
No. Or it's going to annoy the shit out of you if they bark because they have a
True.
real annoying yap. Yep. Anyway, so of course, the minute all the purses are set down before a fucking rogue almond is put in any goddamn mouth, they have to, bond over gossiping about Sutton. And if it wasn't Sutton they were gossiping about, they would have gossiped about whoever the Sutton of the season was. And it's just so fucking lame, dude. And it's also why I turn in.
100%. But this was the moment where they were gossiping about Sutton's food behaviors in
Yeah.
very specific
Yes.
ways, and that like bummed
Oh,
me out a lot. Like
yeah.
they obviously mentioned her esophagus sphincter issue,
Jesus Christ.
which may or may not be a thing, and then she went through a crush up her food like baby food phase and then was vegetarian but ate bacon. It's like she has a problem, guys. Like you can giggle about it in your kitchen, and also like you spot it, you got it, when Dorit enters a party at the end and goes like, oh, I can't believe I ate a shawarma pita 3 hours ago. It's like, and
Yeah.
okay, I guess you just
That
want
was
us to know why you're not eating. Okay.
it was so weird.
It
It
was
was
what it
so
was. It
weird.
was her saying, I'm not going to eat and I'm going to tell you why because I'm so full from this bready pita meat treat I had. I don't believe you ate anything. I think you're on a semaglutide and you don't feel well and your
Mm,
legs are very skinny and that's fantastic. But don't
yeah.
make a big scene about the shawarma pita. She dragged it
Yeah.
out like it
It
was
was
so bizarre.
trying to make pronouncing it a moment. It was
I
really
know, and she
bizarre.
did. But especially coming off this scene when she's talking about how, what, or if Sutton eats. Anyways,
Yeah, it was gross. It was so gross. Just so fucking gross. Just low-hanging fruit. And again, why I tune in. Oh,
100%.
I
Yep.
don't
Here for it, all of it. Anne Marie did note that she sees that Sutton gets mad and mean when she's confronted with her stories that don't align with reality. And to me, again, because Sutton's my dad, I'm like, yeah, she's an alcoholic and she doesn't like being called out on things that don't match the fantasy that she's decided has to be true.
interesting. Interesting.
Again, just holiday triggers all around.
I always take it as, she knows that she's not like every cookie cutter housewife. And so, you don't like her brand, that's on you, not on her. That's how I interpret it. But you're probably right.
Who
I
knows? I mean, I hate Anne Marie, so like what
yeah,
you
me
just
too.
said makes I like that as well because I like to not like her. I just thought it was interesting that it did come up,
Yes,
because it is
agreed.
that's like her sort of first impression of Sutton is that she's defensive and kind of unnecessarily so at times.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Jesus
And then
Christ.
we have Kyle casually mention that she's hard at work producing an hour-long drama and that nobody knew she was doing this, I'm sure, except Morgan, who probably has like a tattoo about it. And then we get into that. Dorit's like, is there anything else you're not telling me? You got more tattoos? I don't know. And then the more this story gets told about Kyle tattooing the K into Morgan, the more it sounds like branding, like Nexium shit. Like, stop telling the story. It gets weirder every time I hear it. I don't think it's that, but like it's come up every scene in every episode for like 3 weeks now. And the more they talk about it, the more I'm just like, you branded her. You put your initial on her arm. It's weird. I'm overthinking it, but like, I need them to
No,
not talk about this anymore.
I got the a palpable impression that Kyle is just so desperate and excited to talk about Morgan whenever she can. That same energy you have when you're dating someone that's, you're still in that phase where are we gonna go on date 3 or is he as excited about me as I am, blah, blah. And it's like that thing where you're out with friends and you're really just looking at your phone like, oh God, did he text? Did he text? And any chance in the conversation, you're like, oh yeah, that guy went out the other night. He skates and we have mutual friends. Just any kind of way to bring it up. And her face just lights up when she talks about Morgan. Her smile just can't help but come out. And I'm like, oh God, Kyle's like in deep infatuation.
You're
She's desperate
totally
to talk
right.
about Morgan.
You're totally right. That's exactly what it is. And she takes the opportunity to sort of slam Mauricio too, so she's comparing her two options in front of
Oh,
these people. And you're
shit.
right. She
Yeah.
mentioned one sentence before, she's like, I'm working on an hour-long drama. And then they're like, any more tattoos? She's like, oh my God, I tattooed Morgan's arm. And Mauricio thinks it's stupid. Like, she's, I mean, and I'm happy for her. It's fun to feel giddy like that, but it's a little messy because your marriage maybe isn't quite over yet. And Morgan it doesn't seem like she's integrating into the group. However, I guess there's that preview moment where Morgan says something from the stage saying like, I thank God for friends like Kyle in my life or whatever.
That is
I know.
such an aggressive choice to make when you're on stage performing in front of your fans and people that came to see you play.
And cameras and
Interesting.
like it's just a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Producing a 1 hour show, Margie. She's busy producing a 1 hour show.
But that gave her no joy or excitement. And meanwhile, there's a whole city of writers who are like, yay, I'll write anything, who cares? And she's like,
Yeah.
I'm producing a 1 hour. I'm just like, and you had meetings about it. What are they meeting with you about? Sorry.
No,
I
listen,
can't with Kyle.
I can't either. I honestly can't. I can't. And I
Last
should
week I
have.
could. This
I
week I
know.
cannot.
I feel like I should have more compassion for her. And again, I think it would come easier. And I do. Listen, in my highest self, in my highest self, yeah, there's no need to go beyond that. I don't need to fucking overemphasize that. Jesus Christ. Um, in Now I forgot what I was saying. So who cares? Who cares? I don't know what I was
Just
going
that
to say.
you with Kyle, we can and we cannot. Like this week we cannot. Last week there
Yeah,
was
that's
room
right.
for can because she's in grave pain and a lot of change, and it's most of it is terrible and hard and awful. But then she's still Kyle. Like
It
you
is.
kept saying this whole time, I've been
Exactly.
like Team Kyle, and you were like, she's still Kyle, and I was like, yeah, this is the episode where I'm reminded she's still Kyle.
Right. And I remember what I was going to say. If she had shown me through this is our 13th season. So if I have seen in 13 seasons, she's a one-trick pony. It's victim, 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 and dish it out in a manipulative way so that no one can accuse you of just being a straight up bitch. And there's been no balance. She's shown me nothing about her humanity that would elicit me to have compassion for her unless it is a grave traumatic loss that she went through recently. But that's on Kyle. I'm not taking responsibility for that one. That's on Kyle. Because again, when I've seen her on Watch What Happens Live over the years, I encourage anyone, if you're fucking bored, I don't know, it would be a lot of effort to go look through all the episodes that she was on. Maybe not. The internet's amazing. But every time she's on Watch What Happens Live, you see the real Kyle. And the real Kyle is the one we're seeing this season. That's my opinion. That's my observation. Completely, there's no peer review on this. I don't know. Anecdotal.
I think
But
it's true and I think that's why Mauricio is so confused because he's used to, I think she put on a performance for him for 30 years and he's like, who's this lady? And like you said, that's who she's been all along, but he probably didn't take the time to watch What Happens Live or get to know his wife or anything. I think also I keep forgetting that Kyle is still trying to pretend like her marriage is going to make it, you know? Like we all know that it doesn't end great. But through this whole season, her commitment was to not let on, I guess. Anyways, who knows? This is too much Kyle talk. Let's get
it's too much
drunk with
Kyle talk.
Garcelle and Erica and
Oh
surprise
my
guest
God.
Sutton.
So this scene also triggered dating and just straight up existence in LA insecurities. It just rocketed me right back. So Garcelle walks in this restaurant, and then the hostess, who, you know, quasi looked like Angelina Jolie, led her to her table. And I looked at Josh and I said, whenever I was going out in LA and I found myself west of Fairfax, because I lived on the east side, I would see women that look like this everywhere. Now, in LA, there are women that look like that hostess everywhere. There are women that look like Pam Anderson everywhere. And if I went to any restaurants that I normally didn't go to, like I don't even know if koi is still a thing, but like I would leave my house in Silver Lake feeling super cute. And I would arrive in West Hollywood and walk in somewhere and be like, oh, no, that is the person that's cute. I'm not the cute, you know? Anyway, it stirred up some stuff. It really did. I made the decision for everybody that I went on a date with. Like, why would they want me over that hostess or fill in whoever there? You know, why would I be a viable option when they could have someone that looks like people on TV, because LA is full of people that look like they're on TV. It
Mhm.
really, truly, everyone. You walk into a supermarket and all of a sudden you see someone and you're like, oh my God, why do I fucking try? If you're in a low self-esteem or an insecure place. And unfucking fortunately, for me, I was a late bloomer as far as coming into thinking that I was worthy and attractive just how I am. There's only one of me. I don't have to be XYZ to be considered attractive. That wasn't really a thing. I'm Gen X. We did not have it like that. And I'm not a victim, FYI. I am not that kind of Gen X. I am not victimizing myself. I'm just saying that we buy into the whole superficial thing. At least I did. I feel like if you live in Los Angeles, it's just inherently part of the ecosystem. It's so looks driven there. And it had me in its grips for a long time. Anyway, am I? Yeah, yeah. So it just came up. My heart was like, oh, and it
Yeah.
took me out of this scene. Just it used to take me out of whatever I was doing, comparing myself.
Yeah. I'm
Anyway,
just thinking,
yeah.
I'm wondering, like, I don't know, is that just a developmental thing? Like, I don't know. Like, are there 20-year-olds who are like, I got this? Like, you know, in
I don't know. That's good. You're probably right.
because my sister
Probably
got
not.
married in her 20s and said, I did it because I didn't want to, like, I just wanted an escape from like having to be an adult and sit with all those feelings. If you get married, then you have another track that you can be on. Like, I just don't know if you can get away from it. And I feel like that's where I wonder if someone had just told me, like, your 20s, you're going to question everything about yourself. You're going to think you're less than. And let me just get you excited about your 30s when you look back and you're like, I was fit and hot and great. But I just don't know if you can bypass the part where you, and I don't even think the hostess girls are that secure either. Like, yeah, they're beautiful, but in 5 years, there'll
No.
be someone else in that hostess stand and you're going to be 5 years
Yeah,
older. And like, it's just this, I mean, this town, it amplifies here. It is really dizzying, the
absolutely.
influx of
Yes.
young, gorgeous people. But
Right.
but I also always like to stick up for LA and say there are incredible communities of normal people here. I've had friends for 25
100%.
years. You're one of them. Funny people, whatever. But it is, if you just look at LA, it's gorgeous hostesses. But it takes some work to get into it here. But there's lots of good people here too.
Yeah. Oh, no, 100%. I
Because I feel
love
like New York
Los
gets a
Angeles
pass.
fucking
New York,
fiercely. It
yeah.
does.
Everyone's like,
It
because when
does.
I lived in New York as a 22-year-old, all I did was compare myself to everyone. And they were like hot business women. They were like going to like
Right.
do cocaine and make trades on Wall Street while I was going to like make Bloody Mary mix at the Ocean Grill. Like, it's just, I don't know. And I'm sure, whatever. They were rich and exhausted. I dated an investment banker who worked 80 hours a week. We saw each other
Yes.
like for one Brother Jimmy's cocktail a week. I mean, it was just, nobody knows what the fuck to do when you're in your 20s. I feel like you just
I
have to like chop wood until you fucking figure out how to build a house.
I just wish that it had ended in my 20s, but it did not end until I mean, even when I started dating my husband at 38, I remember thinking, oh my God, he's going to see me in my bathing suit for the first time and just be like, oh, I've made a huge mistake. What the fuck? Just so mean to myself. So mean to myself. He has never given a shit, ever. That's been like, he thinks I'm beautiful. That's irrelevant, by the way. It's completely fucking relevant. It was always about what is the person, how are they going to receive me? It was never about how am I going to receive them. Ever, ever, ever. And yeah, it was always about my exterior. Always about, it was never like, well, if they don't like me, I wonder if it is about my personality. It was always going to be, you're too brown and you're too big. And that is so fucked, dude. And that has nothing to do with Los Angeles, FYI. That's not LA's fault. But yeah, it's true. It's just in LA versus New York, tits are out and mini skirts are on. And yoga pants and a bra top in the Whole Foods.
Yeah. I mean, I felt as shitty, if not more shitty about myself in New York than I did in Los Angeles. At least in Los Angeles, you can like get in your car and be alone for a minute. In New York, it's
Yes.
constant. You leave your apartment that you share with two other weird roommates, Dragon and Seven dancers. Everything was fine. Our outgoing answering machine said, "You've reached Dragon, Seven, and Margie." What a time. But there's no escaping it. You're either on the streets that are packed with beautiful people, you're in a subway that's packed with like beautiful or like cool people. Like New York was
Cool.
very hard for
Yes.
me to like find a place for myself in because everyone was cool or rich or hot. And I was
Yeah.
just like tall and trying.
Margie.
It wasn't, but that was of its time. Like, I don't know if
I
there was
know.
another way I could have done it.
I know. I know.
I
God,
had to
I'm
live with
just
Dragon
so.
and Seven.
This is the one thing about middle age that is like, God damn it. Like I've gone through a couple of years where a lot of my thoughts, when I'm wandering or trying to fall asleep at night is, Jesus Christ, why didn't I just enjoy myself? What the fuck? I just wasted 2 decades just, am I thin enough? Like so fucking dumb, dude. So dumb.
But
So dumb.
I don't like beating ourselves up for that. It's
I
not
know I don't
wasted
either.
decades. It's that 12-step promise thing of no matter how far down the scale we've gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. And
True,
I'm seeing
true,
it when I talk
true.
to my niece and nephews. Like they're not getting a pass. They're a much more body positive, like sex
Yes.
positive generation, but they still are insecure. They're like we touched down on in this episode, they have to deal with OnlyFans. They have to deal with like I only saw gorgeous women on magazine covers when I went to like a grocery store or a pharmacy.
Right.
They open their phone in the morning and it's just like
Oh,
perfect butts
God.
and amazing tummies and it's just hard to, you know, I just think sadly it just takes time to
It
figure out
does.
like what's lovable about yourself. And I feel like beautiful people, they feel lovable. They feel like they can love themselves earlier because they're hot, and you get a lot of
Yeah.
positive reinforcement for that. But then
Yeah.
I hurt for them when they're my age. What the fuck do you do when you're 45 and you've been like you become Madonna, who's like done really weird shit to her like face
I
and body because
know.
she's like, I have to be a sex symbol, and I'm like, no, you don't.
I
You
never expected
were.
that from her either. I really
I
didn't. I
know.
don't know why. Like, Ramona, did you really forget that capitalism and the patriarchy exist? That's, yeah.
It just is normal, I think, to walk into a room if we're I can't believe I'm talking like this, but in theory, if we're all like animals, we do walk into a room and like we are drawn to those that we feel inclined to breed with, you know? So it's normal to walk in, I think, and look
Mm,
around and be like, whatever. I can't believe I'm talking like this. This is ridiculous.
I get
I
it.
don't,
I get
I
it.
just
I
don't
get it.
want like I look at my niece and nephews and I do not want them beating themselves up for this phase of life. They're doing great and they don't know it yet. They'll
Yes.
know it when they're 30,
Yes.
but right now it's just this part. It's their dragon in 7 years, you know? Those are hard
Oh my
fucking
God, the
years.
dragons. Oh my God. Oh my God. I was really glad to hear Erica say that she and Garcelle had had a hard time, mostly because of Erica's behavior in the last season. That made me feel open towards Erica. Now, that opening was very small and it shut pretty fucking fast by the time we end this episode. But in that moment, I acknowledged her saying that.
You do see evidence of therapy. Like this is a more advanced, evolved, progressed version of Erica. As you say, she's still Erica. So lots of her DNA is just problematic, but you're right. She accepted responsibility and seems to actually understand why she's the asshole and she's the reason that there was, you know, strain in that relationship. But then the night develops into this like kind of dinner with girlfriends that I love where everyone is slowly, steadily getting shit-faced and laughing a lot and they don't realize how drunk they are and they talk slower and have more and more fun as it goes on. I even enjoyed Sutton in this moment. This is, you know, an alcoholic having a great time. It's why it's so confusing. They're charismatic and delightful and wonderful. It looked like a fun dinner.
It did. It looked like a fun dinner. I was never one for the lychee martini, but
Oof.
yeah, too sweet for me. But yes, it did look like a fun dinner. Man, I miss those kinds of nights. I don't
Yeah.
want them all
And
the time, but they were fun.
once in a
Yeah.
while, and just watching them like order shots, and I was
Yes.
like, oh my God, you guys are really doing this. And I love you for
Yeah.
it. And it was a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
success. And Erica does plant the seed that Denise Richards sells naked picture bundles on OnlyFans for $7, which was like unnecessary. And again, Denise is making millions of dollars on OnlyFans. So like if her pictures are only selling for $7, that means like billions of people are buying them. So like shut up,
Right.
Erica. No one's going to see your
Yeah.
stupid show, and Denise doesn't have to leave her home to be a millionaire by showing her cleavage and whatever else.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
lots of other things, but whatever.
Probably. Probably.
Kyle
I didn't
FaceTimes
like when
Anne-Marie in
Garcelle tells
Hawaii.
Sutton that
Oh.
she's oh yes, yes,
No,
please.
sorry, you were still at this dinner.
No, I was just Garcelle tells Sutton that she's Baby Yoda, and I just didn't like that. Like, Baby Yoda's super cute, but I don't want to look like fucking Yoda or be compared to Yoda unless someone's like, dude, you're wise like Yoda. And I'd be like, oh, thank you.
But Sutton, I mean,
I
again,
think. I don't know.
see, look,
Stupid, dumb.
a clear
No.
actual comedy. No, I mean, but this to me just seems so drunk. It seemed like word association, because Sutton goes, I look like a baby. And then Garcelle just said like Baby Yoda. And it was like, I don't think anyone's really
Okay.
thinking about
All
what they're
right.
saying. She just heard the word
Yeah,
baby and then
okay,
said the next
okay.
word that came to her mind. Because, yeah, she doesn't look like Baby Yoda, but she does look like a baby. And then Kyle FaceTimes Anne-Marie, who's in Hawaii, and I'm thrilled about that because I don't need any more Anne-Marie. Who needs her?
Yeah. Dorit's sweatshirt made me mad and embarrassed at the same time. 90s supermodel. Just shut up. Just
Of all people to come at Sutton's dress later, I was like, you, and she's like, why is Sutton wearing a sundress? It's so cold. I'm like, you're wearing a mini skirt where I can basically see your ass cheeks. So like, and yeah, 90s supermodel was just like, I can't. This woman, her style is nonsense to me. Don't get it.
It truly is. Garcelle picks up Denise. That's the next thing of note I have. I don't know about you, but Garcelle picks up Denise, and I loved that Denise came in snapping her gum, which I just could smell it and taste it just the way she was chewing it. I would bet my life that it was peppermint extra. And she gets instantly annoyed that she looks at Garcelle and she's like, like you can hear it, like comparing her outfit to Garcelle's outfit. Like, I thought we were going, and I just thought it was really relatable. Denise, of all people, I didn't think I was going to relate to Denise Richards when she came on our screens many years ago, but there are so many things she does that she's so relatable. And you know what? I was thinking last night, this woman lived with Charlie Sheen. She saw behavior and witnessed things that we can only hope to never experience unless we're watching a movie, or listening to a fucking podcast. This woman, like, if Dorit Kemsley thinks that she can take down Denise Richards, like, okay.
Her only shot of taking down Denise was when Denise was shit-faced out of her mind on drugs and alcohol, and her jacket was upside down. That was the only chance that she has. And I agree. Denise is like, thank God for Denise in this episode. She's funny. Like, I love that she said her in-laws have been visiting for a year and a half. Like, she seems like a normal lady living a normal life, even though nothing about her life is normal at all. But I think that's why she's special in this cast, is like, she's not trying to pretend like she didn't wear the wrong outfit. She's not trying to, like, she's just, I don't know, she's just herself, and she doesn't take too much time overthinking every fucking thing she does.
Totally.
Kyle wishes she could be Denise,
Dude, 100%.
Because Kyle, talked about how thoughtful she is about her tattoos, her stupid planet and stars tattoos. Okay.
And the way she said, yeah, Morgan just gets anything. I don't think that, I don't know that, I'm sure there are people that go in to studios and just say, like, yeah, give me that. But I don't know. I think you make some choices before you put something on your neck. You
I
know,
think
I don't think neck tattoos go in without consideration. I don't know
everything
this Morgan
has,
person, but
but I think it's what I like about people who get tattoos is like, even if they're ridiculous, there's always a story behind it. There's a reason you
yeah.
went in to sit down and have someone ink your body with that image or phrase or whatever. Like, I don't know. Kyle's not better for having less tattoos
No,
and choosing a planet and stars. I do
not.
want to say that we, in this like getting ready montage, we stop with Sutton, who again will later try to pretend she's a prude. And here she is looking at Denise Richards' OnlyFans on
Yeah.
camera,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
halfway clutching her pearls, but not. She's doing it as a performance for her glam staff. And like she's exploiting Denise here, more than anyone else is. It's just rude and just like stay in your own lane, stay on your side of the street, Sutton. I'm sick of you
I
thinking you're
know.
better than everyone else. You're richer than everyone else, but you're not
You're richer than
better,
everyone else, and you're friends with Jennifer Tilly, and that must
which
be
is
saying
great.
something.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, I don't know these people at all. I'm totally
Same.
judging how they would be as people. Yeah, exactly. We're like,
Yeah.
disclaimer, we don't know these people.
Never met
But
them.
yes.
Probably never will. Probably would love them if they like came to stay for a weekend, but Kyle and Dorit are driving to Crystal's, and Dorit is feeling
Yes.
some type of way about being replaced or left out of Kyle's life. Dorit says she feels like an afterthought and that she's been replaced by Morgan, and I think that's probably true. And Kyle explains that it's because Dorit backed
Probably
Kathy at the
true.
reunion when off screen Dorit had been supportive of Kyle. So that seems fair. And again, everyone is trying to play like they're a victim, but everyone is responsible for their own behavior. Like, Kyle, you
Yeah,
have left Dorit in the dust, so she
they
does
are.
deserve to have
They
those
are.
feelings. And Dorit, you did support Kathy on TV at the reunion, so that has consequences. So everybody can stop feeling like a victim and just move on. Dorit makes one good
Yeah.
point where she says she laughs, but she tells Kyle that they're morphing into each other. Kyle and Morgan are becoming,
Yes.
they're becoming one. And I was like, you're half right, Dorit. Like, Morgan is not becoming Kyle, but Kyle is becoming Morgan.
It's
And like,
becoming
that's
Morgan, right?
the sadder statement is like, Kyle has no idea who she is. She's chosen someone she likes to imprint on her. And now she's trying to become her. So sad.
And Dorit has like some fucking nads to even talk about someone morphing into someone else when she morphs into something every time she posts a picture with 1,000 filters on it. And in her quote unquote fashion choices, she's a fucking poser, as I've said before. So maybe that's why she
You're totally
recognizes it
right.
in
Her
Kyle.
game recognized game. Her accent. It's been so many years now. I forget that she has
Yeah,
she has some accent that's not. It's not an accent. It's just
it's
a
not.
thing.
It's not.
She put it on like her clothes, and it's just as awful as her clothes. Um,
This was a scene where I saw Kyle's face physically change and she became lit from within whenever she talked about Morgan. So she is deeply infatuated. She's deeply
it's
infatuated.
sweet.
Yeah.
If
Anyway,
if she was anyone else in any other moment in their lives, I'd be delighted for her. But it is fun to see someone light up like that.
yeah. Yeah.
Then we go to Crystal's kitchen, and this downbeat is the longest steak slicing, eating, and listening to Rob chew moment I've ever heard. It didn't it last forever? And the music cut out so you could like hear Rob's saliva like breaking down the meat in his mouth. I don't. Again, I'm too food focused in this episode, but that I was like, why was this left in? She goes, do you want to try some steak? Then we watch her cut it. Then we watch him put it in his mouth. Then we hear him fucking chew it. And then he goes, that's good, and leaves. And I was like, why?
I did not like
Why did
his
we do
reaction.
that?
I thought it was lackluster. And I thought that meat, I was so captivated by how rare it was outside and how like rubbed and perfectly seared it was on the outside. It was pink on the inside. I can't remember if I said pink on the inside or it doesn't matter. And I felt like all I wanted was a bite of that steak. And all I did was feel like, man, I wish I could cook meat like that. Maybe I could if I tried more. I don't know, but I don't want to waste money on a piece of meat that I'm going to crucify. And I felt like that meat deserved more than that's good. I was offended for that meat. I wanted that.
I think I agree. I think we're on the same page here of like, why did you leave this in? Either this needs to be a full celebration of meat or leave it out, because this was
Yeah.
just watching a man chew meat and then leave. I just don't. But to me, maybe this is a metaphor for Crystal's life, or at least her presence on this show. I'm always just like, what happened and why am I supposed to care? So, okay. So Rob ate steak and left. And then Crystal explains that it's an Asian tradition to always cook more than you could ever eat. Otherwise, you're a bad host of some sort. It's just comical because if you served one taco to this entire party, it wouldn't get eaten because nobody eats. So it made for a lovely spread. But unfortunately, Dorit had a shawarma pita 3 hours ago. So she couldn't eat.
3 hours ago, yes. Oh my God.
Just so many details. Too many details.
I did love all of the faces walking in that were unfamiliar. And Nia Hill walks in and she flipped off Trump once. So that's it. I love her for the rest of my life.
I loved all of Crystal's friends, and I love them because I feel like they're us. As the scene progressed, as the night progressed, and it got into the women fighting, they kept cutting to the women on the couch, Crystal's friends, and it looked like they were at BravoCon watching the Real Housewives panel. They kept looking at each other and like, oh my God, like it looked like an audience. And I was like, oh, there we are. That's us. And it made me laugh really hard. I thought it was cute when Dorit helped Crystal adjust her boobs in her dress. I thought that was a nice little moment. You're mad. You hate it.
See, I took it as I took it as yes, I did like, oh, Dorit was really leaning into her role as the fashionista of the group. And because of her extensive work with stylists, like East-West boobs. And I fucking can't stand contrived people. And yeah, fuck off, Dorit. I don't know. I thought Crystal's dress.
I take it back. You're right. I agree with you.
I don't know.
You're right.
I also have a stick up my ass for her, so
I can't remember if Crystal asked for the help. If she did not ask for the help, then Dorit can go straight to hell. But whatever happened, her boobs looked great on the other side of that adjustment. She entered the next scene and they were like, doink, like super symmetrical and perky and beautiful. Yes, Nia's fantastic. I would love for her to be on the show. I don't know if she and her husband would ever do it because they're so smart. I think it would bore them to death to have to hang out. Like her husband hanging out with PK. Oh my fucking God.
I would pay. I would pay.
I would too. He would destroy him. Her husband is Bill Burr, who's like a, yeah.
That would be amazing.
He's a like very, accomplished stand-up comic.
Destroy.
But I think Nia, they'd be bored. This was Dorit's confessional. She tries for comedy again. And I'm just so mad because it's bad. Just don't stop. Just be a housewife. Don't do this. She says,
bad.
I'm always surprised by how many friends Crystal has. I mean, I know it's that number. Mine is 14. But still, I was like, can you just talk about contrived? Can you just give me a break? I'd rather watch Rob eat steak than watch you try to deliver comedy.
Me too.
Jackass.
Me too. I'd rather just watch the steak. I don't give a shit who's eating it. I just want to see that steak.
Just watch it rest. And it's
I'd rather
far
watch that
more
steak, yes, than Dorit.
That inanimate object is more hilarious than Dorit can ever
more
be.
Hilarious.
So.
Yes. Gives us so much more on so many more levels. Before we continue, this episode is called A Feisty Fiesta. Now, when I saw that title, when I started this episode naively, I didn't know it was going to end up enraging me. I think a feisty fiesta is a little kind. A little kind.
I was going to ask you because Sutton said something at the end where she was like, why did you have to bring this up at the fiesta? Of course, Sutton's whatever. But I mean, it was, Sutton said it was a Mexican fiesta, but I'm like, was it? Because I thought it was like Asian themed food. And Kim said bulgogi or whatever, like was delicious. Like, was this A fiesta. I'm getting hung up on the
Bulgogi
details because I'm just
tacos
so
are
mad at everybody.
fucking fantastic.
They are, but
Yeah,
it's
I
not a
mean, there was
Mexican.
beans and
You
there
know what I mean?
was chips.
Oh, there
There were
were.
also bulgogi
Okay.
tacos.
I don't know. I think I was
Yeah,
just, by this point, I'm so
yeah, there
mad at
were.
everyone. I
And
hated
especially in
everything they
LA, there's lots
said.
of fusion tacos. Thank God I love a fusion taco, but yes.
So Dorit
So,
gossips to Nia. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, that's exactly what I was going to say. Immediately, immediately she gossips to Nia. And then when Nia asks a question about what Dorit is talking about, like, why did Sutton react that way at Magic Mike? Dorit says, "Oh, honey," in her best AAVE, and I just had to rewind it twice to make sure I heard it correctly. It just felt so gross to me. "Oh, honey, I would love for you to ask." Like, fuck you. A, don't do that. B, just don't, like, if you want someone to do, just do your own fucking dirty work, Dorit. Just do your own dirty
And
work. If you
Kyle.
want to humiliate Sutton, do it yourself.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciated Nia pushing back. And then I was a little bummed out when she gave into it because it just, at that point, it was not interesting at all anymore. But it did send Sutton off on like an incredible alcoholic monologue that I loved about accomplishments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wrote all of Crystal's friends are named Jenny and the cocktails are ridiculous. And then we spend a lot of time talking about how it's cold until we
Yeah.
come back into fight.
Yes, we do.
I mean,
yes, we do.
we did get Denise
yeah.
telling Dorit that she had a high fever, which is why her jacket was on upside down and she was paranoid and acting crazy. So that was fun.
I know that there are a handful of times that I tried to do the same thing, make up for my behavior that I perceived to need an excuse for, and I made up something, and it never felt good or authentic because I was lying and just really full of fear. So I'm not saying that's where Denise was coming from when she said this to Dorit, but anyway, there's no winners in that conversation because Dorit
I think,
judged her.
yeah, exactly. But I think you're right. Because Denise, when she's like relaxed in herself, like when she was in the car ride on the way there, she's so wonderful. But then when she tries for something else, it's like, I can't connect to you in any way at all. So I know you're lying. And I don't care. Your upside down jacket and saying, thank you, you're welcome is like the best thing that's ever happened to this show. So,
God,
you know,
yes.
don't stop. Oh, God. And now Sutton arrives and everyone makes fun of her sundress, including Dorit and her miniskirt. And that seemed mean and unnecessary. So we begin one of these series where I'm like, I'm alternately, I feel bad for them. I hate them. I support them. Like, I can't get a clear read on anybody. At this moment, I felt badly for Sutton, for everyone picking on her sundress. Who gives a shit?
I know.
And like she said, why are we eating outside? She wore a sundress because she thought they were going to be in like a temperature controlled home.
Exactly. I mean, especially when I would go out in LA or holy shit, when I was in college in Seattle, I would go out in tank tops constantly. I learned how to dodge raindrops in between parking my car and walking into the club. And yeah, why would they be outside? You know, I don't know.
That was
Unless
weird.
it
I
was
mean,
a
I
COVID
think
precaution,
Crystal,
in which
did
case,
she just,
applause.
oh, maybe so. Maybe that's what it was. But then they all come inside to eat and breathe and whatever. This is where Crystal finally invites everyone inside to eat because it is freezing. Kim arrives, who's great. And then we get Dorit saying, I really could have done without that shawarma pita I had 3 hours ago. So she's provided her alibi as to why we will not be seeing her eat tonight. But, you know, she still gets to make fun of everyone else's eating. Just, yeah, it made me mad and it made me sad.
Totally.
So I focused on her hair, which looked great. She looked like a Charlie's Angel.
It did. Her hair looked great, and she knew it looked great. She kept, futzing with it and shit. Maybe I would have too. I don't know. I love a good blowout, so never mind. Strike it. Strike it from a record, please. Sutton says, don't take my Avi. And Dorit says, what the fuck? I would never roll tape. Yes, she would. And then she freaks out and says, are you going to stop accusing me of doing things I'm not doing? And then Sutton says, are you going to stop accusing me of putting vodka in my coffee? They worked it out, apparently, and I was confused. But yeah, It's just that
I mean,
conversation had no hope.
Sutton's defense, her defense was, I don't drink coffee, which means you just drink vodka. It means there's nothing diluting your vodka. Like it didn't, again, I'm fixated on her never saying, I'm not an alcoholic. I do not drink like that. All she said was, I don't drink coffee. She says, she didn't say anything about, I don't drink vodka at 8 in the morning when I wake up. Like, I don't know. Anyways, but they got over it, and that's fine.
This episode, by the end, I definitely come over to your side. And we'll get
Oh
there.
my
I know
God.
you know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about.
I know. We both know. Then this whole thing about disclosing that Sutton had made out with her driver, which, by the way, was probably why that date with Sal was also like a real bummer. She didn't like Sal. She wants to make out with her driver.
Yeah, and I don't know when the driver makeout happened, but personally, like, take it where you can get it, I guess.
Sure, and that's...
I don't think, and like, fuck off if you think that, you know, like, oh, her driver. Like,
but Sutton was the only one doing that. No one said that. No one acted like that. No one had any judgment. They were giddy and supportive. She was the only one who was like, we are friends. And everyone was like, what? Who cares? We're just giggling because you kissed. Like, she's the only one who made that a thing. She's crazy.
I thought that she wasn't making it a thing. And she was telling them, like, listen, we have a legit friendship. We have a friendship. And we acted on a moment of attraction that night. But I don't think she
But why was she being defensive?
Driver. Because, I see what you're saying. No,
everyone just said, like, you kissed the driver. And she was like, well, we have a long-standing friendship. Nobody said, why would you kiss the driver? Like, I thought
it was that, why, you know, she's kissing her driver. Like, they were making it salacious when we should be focusing on the fact that she's making out, period, versus, I don't know. It felt to me, I got the vibes from the people that were making it a thing that it was because it was the driver.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I
hope that's not true, but God, it surely would align with what we know of these women.
Right.
But thank God we get a little comic relief when Kyle finds Kleenex in Kim's scarf, which made me laugh. Thank God for Kim. She's nuts, and I cannot get enough. I love her.
It reminded me of me and my sister. I don't hide Kleenexes there, but I'm sure I've done something where my sister's like, Ramono, what in the fuck? And I'm like, dude. Like, yeah. Yes. I loved it. I love that moment.
It was a cute sisters moment. Mm-hmm, it was so cute because Kyle found the thing and then Kim did a bit that was only funny to the two of them, but they both died laughing and I thought it was so cute. They're sweet sisters. Cute. I loved it.
So cute. Yes. So here we go. Here we go. We're going to careen quickly down to the depths of disgusting behavior, and it starts now. Nia asks
Dorit.
Sutton, what's that?
Oh, you said it starts now, and I said with Dorit. Is that what you were going to say?
Yes.
Because I feel like Dorit launches this with whispering. Okay.
Oh, with what whispering? Tell me.
She whispers to Garcelle saying that she's pissed that Crystal is stirring up shit. And it's like, Crystal isn't stirring up shit. If you didn't say anything shitty, Crystal wouldn't have anything shitty to report. So, like, again, Dorit is painting herself as a victim when she's the one
completely,
who says and does all the shit, and she's trying to recruit Garcelle to be on her side. I did love Garcelle for saying, like, well, at least Crystal's talking about something. Like,
oh fuck, I know.
But
God.
yeah, I don't know. And then we get away from. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I was just gonna say yes.
Go.
Oh my God. We're just having internet issues today. And sometimes, anything before we get to the meat of the episode, what kicks it off when Nia asks Sutton about Vegas. And then I loved
I'm just on high alcoholic alert when I'm watching Sutton. So she starts telling everyone, she's like, she visited her horse in his final apartment. Yeah. And to me, that's drunk. It's like, you know what you're trying to say, but your brain put the wrong words out. Like, this is how we would know my dad was starting to go down that path. And as she progresses through the night, that seems to be what continues to happen. Her brain won't release the words because it's soaked in booze. And this was the first moment
Oh
where,
my
because
God.
Nia was like, she says, I visited my horse in his final apartment. And Nia goes, a barn? And it's like, yeah, a barn. And she goes, well, I call it an apartment. And it's like, nobody calls it's a stall, it's a barn. Nobody calls it an apartment, and neither do you, but you're drunk. And now you're embarrassed that you said final apartment. So now we're going to pretend that Santos lives in an apartment. Stop.
I just thought she was like, you know, doing a thing that people that love animals do with their animals, you know. That's how I took it. And
You're
I
probably
wonder if
right.
I would say that my $29,000 horse was living in its apartment as well. Like I couldn't call it a penthouse because it wasn't upstairs, but you know, Santos probably has something a little nicer than a quote unquote stall or a barn. You
You're
know,
right.
he's not
He
at the
probably
public
has a
stable.
no, he has a bigger house than Erica, I'm sure, with like a bigger
Probably. Oh
pool.
God. Oh
So
God.
no, I'm sure you're
Oh.
right. Again, I'm just on at this stage of this episode, I'm just like my all of my hackles are up and I'm so prickly
Yes.
about everybody. So I was like, oh,
Yes.
Sutton said
Yes.
final apartment. You drunk. Like that's probably not
Yes.
fair.
No, but you're taking
Um,
your information to it, which is exactly what we do because we are humans. And there is not one kind of alcoholic. There's not one kind. Like my dad was one way, your dad was one way. I've known people that are so, you know, when they get drunk, they're still nice for all intents and purposes. You know, they're not. eh, Anyway, it doesn't matter.
But you're right. I mean, and as you're saying that, I'm realizing like this is my Al-Anonism coming to light.
Yeah.
I'm being hyper vigilant. We're at a gathering
Yes.
with lots of people, some
Yes.
of whom are strangers, and I've got my eye on the alcoholic, going like, oh fuck, when is this going to turn? Like it's happening. They're drinking. When are we gonna like? When is the shit gonna hit the fan? And it does
Mhm.
eventually. She sure does put on a show. But like, that's my part here is
Yeah.
I came to this party as a, yeah, an Al-Anon. Anyways,
Yes. Yes. And how can you not with this? And that's why we are here doing a therapeutic dose because these are the takes that we get from watching these women. So, anything before Nia asks Sutton about fucking Vegas and so Nia asks Sutton, here comes the feisty fucking fiesta. We're ramping it up. We're putting the capital F in feisty. Nia asks Sutton about Vegas, Dorit, and then what I fucking loved is that she gives Dorit the heads up across the couch in front of everybody else. Okay, I'm getting the information you asked me to get for you, you know, basically. And Dorit said, oh, like she didn't expect Nia to not understand the unspoken rules. And Sutton proceeds to explain herself about why she reacted that way. And so Dorit, instead of owning Sutton like I think she thought she would by throwing her under the bus, she gets called out. And I fucking loved it. As imperfect as Sutton is, she just was like, okay, you want to go here? I'm just going to share my truth. And then you're going to look like a fucking fool. And I felt like it worked. Fuck you, Dorit. Anyway.
yeah, it worked for a minute. I was with her when she was like, I don't feel the need to explain myself. Her mustard analogy. I was like, oh, she's drunk. But
Yeah,
she
that didn't
said
work.
not
That
everybody likes
landed flat.
mustard. Yeah, and she goes, and I'm not going to ask you 80 times a day why you don't like mustard. And I was like, well, and again, we're in the holiday season, they're at a gathering, I'm bringing my like old child of an alcoholic bullshit to this, but I'm like, this is the alcoholic's attempt to be charming and to, in a mild way, make fun of the person who asked the question. It's basically like, well, that's mustard. It's like, no, it's not. You did ruin the whole night, which you get to later. And then, but once she gets there, she blames it on Nia. She's like, I ruined the whole night. So thank you for asking. It's like Nia is not the problem here. Like, fuck you for turning on her. I'm sorry you feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable, Sutton, but your feelings of discomfort are not Nia's fault. I didn't like that at
See,
all.
I, I thought that she, by that time, had, you know, put two and two together. That it was Dorit putting Nia up to it. or Dorit was the one filling it in, and that's why I didn't feel
That
like
makes
that
sense.
line was towards Nia. I felt like it was more towards Dorit, even if she wasn't looking at her while she said it. That was my sense, but I could be fucking
That
wrong.
makes sense. No, I think you're right.
Garcelle
I think
asks
I'm.
Nia,
Well, go ahead. What? Did I
are
lose
you
you?
okay? Are you there?
Okay.
All right. Garcelle asks Nia, how do you know about Magic Mike? And so to deflect her shame, Dorit says, okay, you brought dollar bills, Sutton. Like, don't bullshit us. You thought it was going to be a strip show too. And then tells the whole group, listen, she makes out with her driver. 2 different apples and oranges, Dorit. Apples and fucking oranges. Stick to what you know, which is nothing about Karl Lagerfeld and your dumb fucking clothes. Stupid. Anyway, that
I
was one of the
think this
lowest
was
moments I've
her.
ever
I
seen
really
come
do.
from Dorit in her history of this show, in my opinion. Mm-hmm.
And I am convinced that it came from her thinking she's funny. And this is the danger with comedy, is it is not for everyone. You have to be smart to be funny. And like you said, Dorit is dumb and she showed her ass here. And it really, everyone was right. She was trying to make a joke and it went way left. But everyone was right to react to it like that. That is private information. She did share it in front of a bunch of strangers. It is fucking rude. But Dorit getting defensive, I was like, just say I tried to make a joke and like it fell flat instead of it became something much bigger than that.
Agreed. It's just she makes me so mad.
But then,
Yes. So Garcelle says,
but
whoa,
then
whoa. Oh, go ahead. Yes,
we get in.
Please. Yes.
No, go. You go.
So Dorit is saying that she announces to the group that Sutton made out with her driver. And Garcelle says, whoa, that was supposed to be for a few of us close friends. And you're saying this to embarrass her. And then Dorit does what she does best, is that she talks down to Garcelle, just rationalizing away. And she is just going for her microaggressor of the fucking year award. Dorit has done this since Garcelle joined the fucking cast. We are now, is this Garcelle's 3rd year?
Probably.
So,
Yeah, that sounds
yeah,
right.
I think so. And I'm getting mad just thinking about this. I'm getting mad just thinking about Dorit and the rest of this fucking episode. Then Dorit just doubles down and she says, she never says sorry or oh shit or whatever. She just defends herself and answers questions with questions. And then she tells us she asked because it seemed contradictory. I don't even think at this point that Dorit is buying her own bullshit. I think she is just struggling because she's drowning and she's grasping at any little branch along the riverbank so that she won't just fully submerge herself.
I mean, again, it's like team nobody for me. It's like, yeah, Dorit is really, I mean, her behavior with Garcelle this whole season is atrocious and inexcusable. And also, when we get Name 'em verse 2, I feel bad for Dorit when Sutton's going, why'd you bring it up? Why did you bring it up? Why did you bring it up? Answer my question. And then when Dorit raises her voice, Sutton does that thing that I hate where she makes that like shocked and offended face as if Dorit's insane for being pissed off that Sutton kept talking over her, asking a question, and as Dorit began to answer it, Sutton asked it again. It's her again.
I think it's because Dorit wasn't fucking answering.
She didn't get a chance.
All this shit.
I mean, look, yeah. I'm all for asking the question, why did you bring it up? But then shut up and listen to the answer.
Yeah, I just feel like every time Dorit opened her mouth, she wasn't saying shit. She wasn't being honest. And I think that's why she repeated herself so many times.
I'm not saying that we would have gotten a good answer from Dorit, but it does. Kyle said it. This is the same as Name 'em. This is Sutton feeling ashamed and cornered. And so what she's going to do is anything she can to make the other person look like a dramatic, hysterical asshole. Mission accomplished. Because Dorit does scream and say, like, let me answer. And then Sutton clutches her pearls. Whatever. It's just manipulative and awful. But Dorit is awful also. So, you're right. I'm sure if she said anything, it would have been a lie and stupid. Yeah. And then it's just like a martyr off. Sutton becomes a martyr. saying, when Garcelle repeats, it just felt like you were saying this to embarrass her in front of these women. And Sutton gets like super smug and righteous and goes, she was. And it's like, oh my God, we're talking about a kiss with your fucking driver. We do not need to go this far. But then Dorit becomes a martyr in her confessional and goes like, if you don't like me, Garcelle, just say so. And it's like, oh my God, nobody can take any responsibility for anything they're doing wrong. Just be a human being and acknowledge that you do lots of things wrong. Yes. Both of them, martyr, victim.
Yeah, totally. She's acting incredulous when I think she knows deep down that she is fighting dirty. And I think she knows that she fucked up. She's being called out in front of all of these women. A few of them are strangers. And I don't respect Dorit at all. I didn't before last night's episode, and now I profoundly and deeply do not respect her. And hackles are going to be up if I'm ever in her presence in real life. And the caucasity to victimize herself is just another fucking like, another reason for Garcelle to take issue with me. And then she says, you just attacked me. Oh my God. And then Garcelle validates every fucking hackle I've had this whole scene, is that Dorit has been told about her racism before. We have seen it multiple fucking times on this show, not even in this season, before this season. And it is abundantly clear that Dorit is not #learning or fucking listening at all. And I can't stand her. My blood was boiling. My jaw was clenched. I was
it was
disgusted.
It was awful.
I was
and her attitude, because Garcelle basically explains that Dorit's ignorance and insensitivity to anyone's experience other than her own is triggering, offensive, racist. And Garcelle says, I didn't attack you. We're having a conversation. And Dorit says, well, what's a good word? What's a better word? And that to me was just like, oh my God, you're horrendous. Yeah. And God bless Garcelle for saying, I don't know what a good word is, but I feel like for you and your privilege, I can't. And then Dorit looks mortally wounded. Yep. And it's like, we have to, I don't know. It's just, I was exhausted with Dorit, and it's not my battle, but like, not Dorit, sorry. I was exhausted with Garcelle because it's just like, there is no getting through to this bitch. Everyone has tried. They've done it in a sensitive way. They've done it in a direct way, and she just will not hear it. She just can't. She just can't. So fuck her.
Yep. I know. I just, when she asks, oh my God, it's just like her fragility just came tumbling fucking out, just bowled us over like a fucking tsunami. It's like, no, don't ask Garcelle what word she would use. You do the fucking work, Dorit. You figure out what word you're supposed to be using. I just don't. She minimizes and disrespects Garcelle like it's her fucking job. It's her job. I have to say I was really proud that Erica explained it to her. And it is white women's job to educate their fellow white women when their microaggressions, casual/overt racism comes up. This is for Dorit to figure out. I fucking can't. I can't. And then she has the balls to say that Dorit triggered a nerve. It's not a nerve, bitch. This is not unique to Garcelle. This is hundreds of years of racism. Hundreds of years of racism. And it's not something, if it's not something that you can personally relate to, you need to make the choice to put that aside and learn somebody else's experience and how your behavior influences and affects somebody else's experience. And she has been told this so many times, and she doesn't care. Her choice has been made. Her choice has been made.
Dorit says she wants to talk about it, and Garcelle says, I'm good. And Dorit won't accept that no means no. She keeps pressing her. Yeah. And Garcelle finally says, I'm not here to educate you. I'm not. And then Dorit goes, well, I think you
Exactly.
have. And Garcelle goes, well, that's on you. And Dorit, having to get the last word, goes, okay. In this like voice that's like, well, I can't believe this has happened. And it's like, oh my God. And then in Dorit's confessional, this is where I was like flipping tables in my house. Dorit says she should know that all she has to do is say that word no. So all of the onus falls on Garcelle. Dorit shirks all responsibility to be a thoughtful human being because she's like saying Garcelle should know to tell me like that. And she didn't get it. It's not about just the word. She's like, I would never use that word again. And it's like, it's not just the word, it's the attitude behind it. It's like you said, the dismissiveness. It's just gross, dehumanizing bullshit. I'm not a fan.
Here's why I think there's no hope. We have never heard from Dorit during this entire scene anything like, oh, fuck, did I do that? Oh, my God, I am so fucking sorry. That was so fucking wrong. I didn't think, and I should be thinking. I understand if you feel minimized and disrespected. My God, I'm so sorry, Garcelle. All we hear is bullshit and rationalization the whole time. So Dorit
Because she
doesn't
doesn't
think she has a
understand.
problem. No.
And she doesn't want to understand. She doesn't.
No,
Yeah.
she doesn't. Yeah. She doesn't want to understand.
It's like it's the problem why we're not making progress on this front because everyone is just like, well, I'm not a racist. And it's like, well, we need to expand our definition of racist because we all are actually. Like, that's the nature of privilege. So you don't have to be you don't have to say a racial slur to be a racist. We need to embrace this in a way that's like, I don't know. Everyone gets so fucking defensive as opposed to like, when you're in any interpersonal relationship, you have to be able to talk about the things that are hard. You have to be able to bring up the things that are going to make other people uncomfortable. But there's no room for that for Dorit. She's right. She's decided she's not racist. So fuck you. I'm going to go see PK. Like, that's a good reason to leave a party. Fuck you.
I mean, honestly. So Crystal wants to be filled in. Like, what did we miss when we were in the kitchen? And Dorit says she was just joking. And then Dorit continues, her I'm a fucking racist asshole tour 2023. Again, instead of owning anything, she just puts it right on Crystal. And well, you were the one that told Sutton that she puts vodka in her coffee. And again, her plan to humiliate Sutton in a room full of strangers lands flat and makes her look like even more of a dick than she's already looked. And Crystal says, yeah, let's talk about it. I repeated what you said. Like, and Dorit, care to add? Anyway.
And then in Team Nobody, in the spirit of Team Nobody, then Sutton loses her goddamn mind and delivers her monologue, and it just could not be more apparently drunk. You can talk about me all you want. I know my life. I know what I've accomplished. I know what I'm going to accomplish. And I know what you can't do in order to accomplish what I have accomplished and what I'm going to accomplish. Continue your little chatter while I take off. And y'all are way back there. That's what's going to happen because I'm moving forward at a very rapid speed. That's what's happening. And I was like, Dad.
Yeah.
And it's just a deeper version of, in my opinion, of the horse apartment. Because it's like she does have a point in here. But what happens in my experience, when an alcoholic gets drunk, they can't stop themselves and take a breath to figure out what they're trying to say. They just keep talking, getting louder and more animated and more, fuck you, it's your fault, and I'm great, this grandiose, insane, nonsensical bullshit that I enjoyed very much. It was a lovely, monologue moment. But it was just, she was just being adamant about nonsense. And it was, to me, it exposed a little bit of why people might say she might be the type of person who might put vodka in her coffee.
I understood that. And what spoke to me about the possibility that she's an alcoholic, probability that she's an alcoholic, is that she is relying on that completely incorrect rationalization that people have about alcoholics or people with substance abuse disorder. If you are accomplished, how could you be a fucking alcoholic? I don't know any alcoholics that aren't accomplished, FYI. The
It's not an
alcoholic
80s movie where you're a bum in the gutter holding a bottle of malt liquor with a paper bag around it. Like, that's one version. But like, their functional alcoholism is probably more deadly because nobody does want to call it out and nobody does anything to fix it. And Sutton is too rich. Like, she has nothing to lose. She'll never lose anything, so she can just keep doing this. But goddamn, it's embarrassing. That monologue was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing, and she's lying to herself if she thinks that her status and her money and her accomplishments make a rip of a difference when it comes to whether or not she is addicted to alcohol.
You can't out-earn alcoholism.
You cannot out-degree alcoholism.
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
exactly.
You can't out-exercise
boutique
alcoholism.
store.
Yes.
Yeah,
you can't you can't, it doesn't matter what fucking car you drive. Like, it doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. Anyway.
And then Dorit should just fucking leave, but instead she decides to stir the pot and thank God for Erica calling it out because it was so obnoxious of like, take the focus off of me and how I've ruined everything this night and let me see if I can get Erica and Denise to get in the ring and fight.
Oh my God.
And it does. And I was like, oh, please just let this be a non-thing. And like, it's a whole thing. It's awful. This was awful. Erica was awful. Anyways, I love Denise because Dorit tries to stir this pot and Denise just goes, what's going on? Jesus, come on.
Jesus.
Bring it down a notch. Sorry, bring it down. It's not cool. It's great.
I wrote down that Denise is an assassin at emotional warfare. She was married to Charlie Sheen. Dorit, I don't think you understand the training that Denise Richards has gone through.
Dorit doesn't understand anything.
You can't win. See, that's where my sickness and my child of an alcoholic comes out. It's a win. No one's a winner in the scene, but I am so attached to making people good or bad, right or wrong, I love you or I hate you. And that black and white thinking is also indicative of someone who was raised in alcoholism. Mm-hmm. And I'm just, this is why one of the reasons why this episode was so roughly for me.
Yes. And again, I'll just remind myself and everyone else, I don't know, Sutton, I don't know if she actually has a problem. Right. All I know is that the tenor of this event feels a lot like family Christmas.
Sure.
So Dorit tries to sell us on leaving because she wants to see PK, who she hasn't seen in a week. Okay.
Oh, God.
And then Denise.
What a baby
Erica
bitch for leaving. What a fucking
for real.
What a coward. I mean,
that's the word.
Fuck off. Yeah. Like, don't make your bed and then go run home to fucking PK. You lie in that bed. Lie in the bed with your frette sheets, bitch.
I mean, and I don't believe PK's at home. Like, I don't believe anything this woman says. I'm just like, you are uncomfortable, so you want to leave.
Exactly.
Instead of sitting in your discomfort. And that is what makes people mentally ill, is if you can't deal with discomfort and you just run away from it, you can't run away from it. Life is uncomfortable. You make endless mistakes, and lots of us make mistakes that hurt other people. But like, you have to fucking stay in the room. You can't go see PK.
Oh my God.
Anyways.
Oh my God.
Denise says she's open to having this conversation. Erica tells her that she is not, because she apologized at Kyle's weed dinner. And then Kyle had reported to Erica that Denise had called Erica like a bot cunt or something. And it just, either she was super high or something, because they show the clip where Denise just says she's a dickwad. It's like nothing. And also a bot cunt, it's like not, I don't know. I guess maybe the weed had really hit Kyle or something, but I don't know. At least they got to play for us again the thank you, you're welcome moment.
Oh my God, that was incredible. Yes. Yes. But I still believe, like, when they show the flashback and Dorit and Denise is telling Dorit, like, you know what you're doing. Stop it. You know what you're doing. And then Dorit can be like, what? What am I doing? I can relate to Denise. You have a feeling. Certain people can pick up on it. And I'm imagining that after living with Charlie Sheen for years, you know how to pick up on bullshit and you know how to pick up on manipulative behavior. And again, Kyle and Dorit have perfected this to an art form where they say things, but they say it in a tone where anyone wouldn't accuse them of having nefarious intent. And that is, I fucking hate that shit. If you're going to be a dick, be a dick.
Yeah, agree. Have the courage to be a dick.
Have a courage to be a dick.
I'm just smiling because, like, again, all of this stuff should not be an issue. Maybe Dorit is manipulating her and trying to, like, prove her to be a drinker or whatever, I don't know, for the cameras. But, like, all that happened is she put her jacket on upside down. And it's hilarious and it's amazing. And I wish Denise could have laughed at it. I wish Dorit could have just laughed at it. And this is where this goes way too far, this argument.
Way too far.
Oh, my God. Because initially I was like, Erica's right. This should not be a huge deal. She apologized for saying that in front of the kids. That was inappropriate. But I think Erica's right. I think every kid has access to the internet. They have all seen by age 8 more than I will ever see in my lifetime because that is just what's available. And you can't avoid it. When my niece was 8, and this was 10 years ago, before OnlyFans, before Instagram, any of that shit, she was a little boy crazy. So she Googled boys. Well, guess what the fuck came up? Like, none of it was child appropriate, you know? You cannot avoid it. All she Googled was boys because she was a little kid who had a crush. Like, you know. Anyway, so I was hoping this would just sort of be like, yeah, that was a gross error in judgment by Erica in speaking about that in front of the children, but what she said was not that big of a deal. And then, oh God, Denise fights back saying, it's my children. So I'm bothered that you said this in front of my children. And then Erica makes a comment about her children, revealing that her oldest daughter is on OnlyFans, and then challenges Denise saying, like, you think she doesn't know about sex? And it's like, I guess Erica's right, but wow, what a gnarly way to make your point. What a disgusting move. I mean, I think she is right. Her kid knows about sex. But if that's your point, leave your point there. Don't fucking bring her child into it. Fuck you.
To me, Erica started her, low blow assault with that one. When we're talking about Denise's kids, this is years ago. This is years ago when Denise's children were minors. If I was having a dinner party and a bunch of women were talking about things that I didn't want my kid to hear, even if he's already heard about it with his friends, then you need to shut the fuck up and respect my boundaries and respect the boundaries I'm setting with my minor children. For Erica to bring up what Denise's daughter is doing now, I'm racking my brain for what the equivalent of victim blaming would be in this situation.
Especially from Erica, whose Vegas residency is OnlyFans, okay? You're not, like, you're doing more sexually explicit shit than, like, most people on that channel do. Larsa just sells pictures of her toes, for fuck's sake.
I mean,
you're up there grinding, patting the puss. Like, back off. You are the wrong person to make this argument, bitch.
It doesn't matter what Denise's daughter is doing at this moment in her life when she's an adult. We're not talking about that. And good for her. Work. Make your money. If you're doing it of your free will and you feel good about it and you're earning a living, like, I hope you have health insurance with it. You probably don't because it's OnlyFans. Fucking gig economy.
But you make a shit ton of money on OnlyFans. Yeah. Like, I'm sure she has great health insurance.
I just can't. Erica went to Perez Hilton circa 2006 level of jugular attacking. Dirty, irrelevant, shamey, misogynistic. And yeah, she was probably looking in a fucking mirror. You're right. Erica was looking in a mirror, but it was, yeah.
Well, and she admits it, and it was so disgusting. Denise says that was a low blow, and Erica goes, "You think I'm not going to go as low as I can? Have you met me?"
Oh
And
my
it's like,
God.
that's not cool. Like, I know you're saying
No.
that as if it's some like badass badge of honor, but you're a
Yep.
monster because you're
You're a
talking
monster.
about her kid who is an adult, but she's not in the room. She's not part of this show. Leave her the fuck alone. Fight your own battle. Like, it just, and Denise says, "You're really fucking mean." And then Erica replies, "I just want to know who's more profitable, you or Sammy."
My God.
And I was like,
My
oh,
God.
my
My God.
stomach fucking turned. Like,
Yeah.
she won't let up. She was already about as mean as I thought as you could be. And then this last line was just so hateful. Like you said, so inappropriate, so unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
fucking vile.
Yeah. And she's repellent. She's repellent. And she does. You're right. She thinks she's a badass. She thinks that she's this strong warrior woman. And she's not. I'm scrappy. Did you forget who you were getting in the ring with? Like, get out of here. Get out of here. Sell
And
your
it's like,
earrings and help people, you fucking asshole.
it's like this was sort of foreshadowed in her dinner with Garcelle when she was talking about like that, out of my hardest moment, I just never gave up. I just kept walking no matter how small the steps. And I was like, you are not a motivational speaker. Let's remind ourselves why you're in the gutter. Because you married an old man for his money, and then his money ran out, and you started grabbing for money instead of considering that the people who didn't get the money that bought you your career could stand to use some of your money. Like, you're not a hero. You're not Phoenix rising from the ashes. You're a greedy monster.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get it twisted. You're thin now, but you're still an asshole.
You're still an asshole.
She's a fucking bot cunt.
She is. She is a bot cunt.
She
Fuck
is.
off. Fuck off. Margie, I had carpal tunnel by the time I was done taking notes last night. This episode was infuriating.
It was relentless. Like, I can't believe I couldn't breathe by the end. I was so, and now we're heading into the holidays to be with our families. Like, anyways, again, it's all of my stuff that I bring to it. But I think objectively, this last moment for Erica seals her fate as America's villain. She's just wow. That was so mean.
It was disgusting, dude.
It was disgusting. That's a better word.
Apologize for that. I wonder if we see people, do they wrap up the dinner party next week? I can't remember the scenes from next week, but I wonder
didn't see the scenes from next week. I don't know.
I really hope Kyle comes in and says that Erica is not being very kind right now. I don't think anyone's going to stick up to Erica. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, maybe, I don't know. But Erica and Dorit are losers on the cosmic/psychic scoreboard of the universe. They lose.
I mean, and Dorit.
They don't just lose, they're suspended.
Dorit forfeited the game. She left.
Yeah, she did, that fucking coward.
Yeah,
to go hang out with PK,
she wouldn't even play.
He's not going to be a soft place for her to land. He's going to say something like, "Well, babe, those ladies are crazy," and then he's going to say, "I'm going to go get some chips."
Oh God!
Fuck off, Dorit. Anyway,
well, this show delivers and delivers and delivers. Like, this season is just. I can't. I don't even know if I can take anymore. I'm glad we have a holiday break because, holy shit.
Is it on next week? Or
I doubt it because
I think Salt Lake is on a hiatus. So
yeah, I think they'll take the holiday week off. But I was gonna say, if you're around and you want to, we could maybe do a little episode about ketamine therapy.
Ooh,
if there's nothing,
that would be nice.
If there's no housewife stuff to talk about,
let's do it.
We haven't had a chance to get into it.
To deep dive into that. Yes, I would love that. That's a great idea. And I'll get to see you in between Christmas and New Year's. Friend, what else did you watch this week?
Well, I watched Sister Wives in Salt Lake City. I'm really in a Mormon moment. And I can't remember if I watched anything else. Those are the only two that stuck with me. How about you?
We watched 1.5 episodes of Ultimate Girls Trip. I didn't know there were going to be multiple for us to kind of quasi binge with on Peacock, but I hate Dorinda Medley, and she acts like I was like watching her rant to Kristen Takeman, who is admittedly giving a little bit too much this season. I'm glad that she's found her footing and she's become a more confident person. When Dorinda was yelling at her, she reminds me of Donald fucking Trump. I was like, who does she remind me of? I'm like, oh my God, she's just Donald Trump, the way he talks to his audiences when he's giving a rally. She's just stream of consciousness, insult throwing. Man, Dorinda's she needs
Oh man,
help. She needs a lot
Dorinda's
of
that's
self-reflection and help. I'm loving Luann, which I never really loved Luann a lot, but I feel like the more she's humbled through her choices coming out in the press over the last few years, like the more she's like, fuck it, watching your relationship implode in real time, like, how could you do this to me? ? Like it's some humbling that she's gone through, and I find her more enjoyable to watch. But
she went to
Dorinda
jail.
is repellent and repugnant. Yes, watched Salt Lake City. Oh my God, I can't wait for the season
Yeah.
finale. Although I'm also sad that it's the season
Dorinda,
finale.
there's I didn't find anything to like
Watched
about her,
Miami.
including
I don't like Lisa Hochstein, and I don't like her husband. And it's a good season of Miami so far too. I realize when other people ask me questions like, "Oh, what are you watching?" Like I watch so much reality TV that maybe having a week off of Bravo shows will be good for me to go back and watch shows that I've wanted to watch. I realized yesterday, and since COVID started, like, I think reality TV is just so fucking comforting. And I don't have to think a lot. Like when I watch these shows, it's not that I'm thinking about them. I'm reacting to them with my feelings. And the feelings I have are things that I talk about in therapy, or things that, again, are in my rearview mirror that I've worked out through therapy, thank God. But I just want to watch bullshit. Yes.
it is healing, and I'm so glad there's so much of it. Oh my
Yeah, me
God,
too.
this day is insane. So it's trash day. So there's the sound of trash trucks. There's an incredible rain downpour. The dog is squeaking a toy. Like, I cannot get this right today. There's just no
I
where
can't hear the
that
dog,
side.
if that makes you
Okay.
feel any better.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous. So, anyways.
What was your antidepressant this week?
Well, obviously, my antidepressant happened last night, and you gave me a Christmas tree, and I hadn't taken a single Christmas decoration out. My family's not coming till the 29th. So I was like, I guess I just won't fucking do Christmas this year. We're going to the Rose Bowl. I'll just wait till New Year's to feel celebratory. But then you so kindly gifted me a Christmas tree. I went to the Christmas tree lot last night in the rain and found this wonderful tree. And they were so happy because they thought it was so sweet that like a friend would do this for another friend. And I stayed up all night decorating it and like enjoying it. I just fucking
beautiful.
love it. I sat next to it for like hours last
So
night.
glad. I'm
It's
so
just
glad.
so cozy and it makes me so happy. It is a true antidepressant.
Yes.
Like I just feel it smells beautiful. It looks beautiful. It's just happy.
Oh my God, now I hear Evelyn. I'm so glad. Margie, the video you sent, your house looks so cozy and festive and beautiful and light. And if people like Christmas trees, I feel like they should have Christmas trees. Like, I think that there's a study that came out that people are decorating earlier and earlier post-COVID because walking into your house and seeing the decorations really lifts your mood. Like they scientifically proved it.
I believe it because it's winter.
Yeah.
The days are as short as they get. And to come in and just see like a twinkling Christmas tree is so...
Christmas trees, man.
And I put the TV on the fireplace, thing. And I just like
cute.
Loved it.
Yeah.
It was so nice. Anyways, that's my antidepressant.
Yes.
And I'm thrilled about it. And it'll live for like 3 weeks. So I can't wait.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How about you?
mine is probably holiday related as well. I am so grateful that how I wish I could act and behave is actually how I'm acting and behaving this Christmas. Christmas is what, in fucking 72 hours? Something really, it's like 4 days away. And when we're as of right now, and I don't have all my decorations up, and I'm not stressing out about it. Like if they get up by Christmas Eve, that's going to be good enough for me this year. Last year, I was a fucking mess. I wanted things to be perfect for everybody, including myself and including my inner child. And it was not, I went off the rails last year, admittedly. And I am so proud that I really meant it when I said I don't want to do this again. And so my house is complete fucking chaos right now with like the last couple strands of garland that haven't been hung and a couple other things that it just doesn't matter that I say it. But I am just excited to keep going instead of getting like, what does this mean about me that I don't have all the decorations up yet? Because last year, that's the story I was telling myself. How dare you? How dare you not have everything up yet? How dare you be stressed out about, cooking? This year, I don't know.
What incredible, like, marked progress. Like,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm very grateful. It's a huge antidepressant.
I'm so happy.
I said what I wanted and I did it, and I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah. And I'm so happy for you to enjoy the holidays, like, from this point of view and see what that's like. Like, that'll be great. I'm so sorry about the dog. Oh, my God.
It's really okay. I think it's adorable. And then, one of my besties is coming up to celebrate New Year's Eve with us, and we're going to the House of Prime Rib in San Francisco, which was a tradition that Josh and I started in 2014. We went every New Year's Eve, and then COVID happened, and we weren't comfortable eating in restaurants. And we're going this year. I don't give a fuck if there's a spike at that weekend. I need to fucking go do the tradition again. So I'm excited about that. Mm-hmm.
That sounds amazing.
Yep. Well, everyone, thank you so much for coming on this wild, nearly 2-hour journey with us this morning. This was, like I said at the beginning, it was fraught and wrought with fuckery, and there was a lot to break down. I'm sure. Please follow us at A Therapeutic Dose on Instagram. You can email us at atherapeuticdose@gmail.com. If you find yourself with a few more minutes during this holiday break and you find yourself on the podcast app, go ahead and, rate, review, subscribe. If you haven't, pass it on to a pal. And I think I speak for Margie when I say we hope each and every one of you have a relaxing, sane, chill, Evelyn, a holiday. Find some time, hopefully, that you can take a rest, put your feet up, stay in your PJs all day, whatever it looks like for you.
This is fucking absurd.
She is pointing out the absurdity of it all.
I know. My God. Evelyn. Oh, my God.
It's adorable.
Please, dude.
I think it's adorable.
Everybody just take good care of yourselves. This, like you said, this can be a fraught time of year. Yep. So you are beloved, and it matters that you get to 2024. So
yes, exactly. I love that, Margie. I love that. So we will hopefully come to you, have something for you next week that won't be necessarily Housewives related, but it will be related to mental health and therapy. So yeah.
I mean, the ketamine conversation can kick off, with that Miami
with
scene.
Adriana, you're right.
So
absolutely.
Everything's Housewives related.
Everything goes back to Bravo. For good or for bad.
Truth.
Lol. All right, everyone. We will talk to you soon. If you, for some reason, you take a break from us and you don't listen until the new year, may the end of 2023 be kind. And Margie, as always, I love seeing you.
I love you too. And thank you again for my amazing tree.
Oh my God.
And
you're so welcome.
We'll talk soon.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Ramona and Margie are, obviously, not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
mom isn't a doctor.